It's time for Dodger Baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. After the Dodgers lose to the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 2-1, they split the series to the Snakes. The Dodgers offense just could not get it done all game long. It was a strong Dodgers debut by Noah Syndergaard. We're going to break down all the action. Graterol, he was shaky. We're going to break this one down. But the Dodgers offense, they need to get it going right off out of the gates. If you look at the top of that order, they got the job done today. Mookie, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman, they combined to go 4 for 10 on the day. The rest of the Dodgers, they combined to go 0 for 21. So this Dodgers offense, they struggled. Runners in scoring position, they go 0 for 6 with 8 left on base. Friday, they go 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position with 12 men left on base. So this Dodgers offense has been very inconsistent. They outscored the Diamondbacks by 13 runs in this series, but it still went as a split. We're going to break down all the action inning by inning. And I'll give you my big takeaways, and we're going to break this whole thing down. But first, let me know where you represent Dodgers Nation from today. Give me those cities down below. I just want the cities, no zip codes, no area codes. Just give me what city you're repping from. Let me know down below. We got Trace Hayward. Graterol is a thrower and not a pitcher. Yeah, it certainly looked that way today. You saw the command just was not there for Graterol. He was missing his spots, and even on the play at the end with the drag bunt, it looked like he had a play on that. I mean, he definitely had a play on that, but he wasn't able to field it cleanly. He was trying to flip it to Freddie Freeman there, but he just wasn't able to get the job done. He was very, very shaky today, and he gives off that leadoff double to Ketel Marte. Really not a bad pitch there. Really was tailing away on the outside corner. Nice piece of hitting by Ketel Marte. And we're going to break that inning down, but let's get some more comments here. But yeah, Graterol, what'd you think of his outing? We're going to throw out our grades for Noah Syndergaard. I have some takes I want to get off on Thor, because I thought he was brilliant today for the most part. I thought he was outstanding. His command was fantastic. Not one 3-ball count today for Noah Syndergaard. The velocity wasn't even electric, but the command was pristine, and that's why he's going to be a solid contributor to this team. But let's dive into the comment section. James Reacts D-Mag. What up, James Reacts over on YouTube? Thanks for rocking with us. By the way, I'm always looking for that comment of the night. If you bring that comment of the night, and there could be more than one, by the way, there could be more than one comment of the night, depending on how good of a take it is. But if you see that, you're going to see one of these.
Fire take.
That's actually for the fire take. If you bring the fire take, you're going to see that. We're going to see a comment of the night. It's going to look like this. All right, let's jump into these comments. Jamie Lannister, I'm tired of Graterol. Yeah, one of my kind of disappointing picks that I've said for a couple of years now is that a lot of Dodger fans, they want to anoint him the closer. The reality with Graterol is he doesn't miss enough bats. When his command is off, his fastball doesn't play up like other fastballs. Yes, you see the triple-digit heat, but he has one of the shortest extensions in the game. So his 100 miles per hour is like a lot of guys' 96 or 97 miles per hour. Yes, when that slider is working, yes, when he's throwing a cutter and mixing things up, he can keep hitters off balance and be very effective. But when his command is off like it was today, he's going to struggle at times. And he just did not look confident out there. And today he goes 1 inning, allows 4 hits, allowed that 1 run, throws 21 pitches, just 11 4 strikes for Graterol. So that is just not going to get the job done. He was 2 for 6 on first pitch strikes. So yeah, Graterol definitely needs to fix some things mechanically. We've been hearing about him developing a slider, an effective secondary pitch for years now, but really, he is a guy that usually throws a lot of strikes, and he hits the glove, and that's usually why he's putting the ball in play and inducing soft contact, but that just wasn't the case today. But jump back in the comments section. Game is ultimately on the offense, though. That's from Jamie Lannister. Yeah, I mean, you look at this pitching staff today. Noah Syndergaard, he was fantastic. He got the job done. He absolutely impressed today. Caleb Ferguson, he was a little shaky. Evan Phillips came in, gave up a hit, but he got the job done. Graterol, he was shaky. But yeah, this loss ultimately falls on the offensive side, because you are not going to win very many games when you score just 1 run like they did on Friday night. And today it was more of the same. You had just not quality at-bats. We're going to go into some of the situations where they had opportunities to score, and they were gifted there in the top of the 9th inning. I mean, in the bottom of the 8th inning, they were gifted 2 men on base. Freddie Freeman, he drew an 8-pitch walk after Miguel Castro was called for a ball that looked like a strike on the inside corner. That sinker looked like it caught the inside corner, and then You saw later Miguel Vargas on a 3-2 pitch. He took his 8th walk of the year. That looked like could have been a strike. So the Dodgers had 2 base runners in that inning when it really should have gone as outs. They still weren't able to capitalize. Trace Thompson, he struck out swinging on a slider at the bottom of the zone. So Dodgers, they stranded 2 runners in that inning despite catching 2 breaks. But let's jump back to the comment section. We'll keep breaking this down. I have a question for you. What do you think that Brusdar Graterol needs to do to realize his potential, to be the pitcher that a lot of fans wanted to see him be as an electric reliever that can potentially be the Dodgers closer one day? For me, he needs to, if you look at his mechanics, they're a little wonky. I mean, he's got that short little fling kind of delivery there. And like I said, the extension to the plate is not a long extension. That's why don't look at the radar gun for Brusdar Graterol. Yes, it is very impressive. Yes, Brusdar Graterol can hit triple digits, and he does look filthy at times, but extension definitely means a lot when it comes to the deception, how much that fastball plays up. And also, it's not like you're seeing a lot of 4-seam action there, too. It's a lot of 2-seam, a lot of sinker action, so it has that downward slope, and he's trying to induce soft contact and get soft fly ball outs and soft ground ball outs. But what do you want to see from Brusdar Graterol, and do you think he's going to be a star one day, or do you think that this is kind of what he is, a guy who occasionally shows those flashes but never puts it all together, never completely clicks? Because he did have a nice finish to last season, definitely put things together towards the end. He's also dealt with some injuries as well. But here, like always, I'm back. What up, DKN? We got James reacts. It's one game, so don't stress out about the performance, but that bunt play was just lazy by Brusdar Graterol. Yeah, James, if you look at that bunt play, well, let's jump to that top of the 9th inning again. Let's break that down. We'll kind of circle back to early in the game, and I definitely want to touch on Noah Syndergaard's start, because that, to me, was one of the biggest takeaways from today. Just how on Friday they lost, but Dustin May, he shined, and really the Dodgers starting pitching as a whole, they've been fantastic. From Julio to Dustin May to Clayton Kershaw yesterday to Noah Syndergaard today, that's 4 elite starting pitching starts. I mean, guys that went out there, went deeper into games. They gave them the quality starts, but the offense, save for the games 1 and 3, they did not hold on to their end of the bargain and produce like they're capable of doing. So here we got Joe Mama. Dave never learns, does he? I don't think this falls on Dave. I mean, did Dave go 0 for 21 like the rest of the batters that weren't named Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith? I don't think so. Another thing, too, Miguel Rojas got out to a very slow start at the plate. I know it's a feel-good story. I know a lot of Dodger fans want to see him have success, and I think he is going to be I don't think he's going to be an average bat. I think he's going to be that'd be the best case scenario if he's an average bat, if he can get close to it. But last season he was 27% below league average. If he can just hover under 100, I think that would be a success story. But yeah, he's gone up to a very, very slow start, and he was in some situations today where he could have really tried to put the Dodgers on top, but wasn't able to come through. But yeah, jump back into these comments here. Could have won all 4, but the bullpen cost us big. That's from Matador64. Yeah, the thing with this bullpen is they're still trying to figure out life without a defiant closer, but you still have to go out there and get outs. And we saw today, Caleb Ferguson, he was a little shaky. He was definitely a little shaky out there in his performance. And of course, Noah Syndergaard, he comes out to start the 7th inning, and he looked pretty solid. He gave that base hit to Christian Walker for a leadoff single, and then it was a great. Then Caleb Ferguson, who's dealing with some command issues, he gets that 4-6-3 twin killing double play started by Mookie Betts. A great turn by Mookie there, great throw out by Rojas. So that was 2 outs, and then a 3-1 count. Ferguson, he hits McCarthy, and the McCarthy, he gets a good jump. The throw was a little off. It kicks off McCarthy's leg, and there's no chance for Will Smith to make that throw. A bouncer that went into the runner and gets away, and the ball ends up in shallow left field, and McCarthy advances to third, and it goes as an error by Will Smith. And then on the 2-2 count, it goes back, and then 3-2 count, Fergie gets Thomas to ground to second for the 3rd out. So there's an example. You talk about the bullpen. Ferguson, a little shaky there. We saw Evan Phillips in the top of the 8th. He comes in. He gives up that leadoff single to Perdomo, but then he's able to get back into it, and they get another big 4-6-3 double play. Herrera comes up to square that bunt there, and he lays down the bunt, and unfortunately it fouls back, and then Instead on the 2-2, he gets him to ground into that 6-4-3 double play. So even Evan Phillips wasn't perfect today, but still he got the job done. Between them three, though, yeah, it was Bruce-Dart Graterol that just could not find the zone consistently enough. But hey, Doug, what up, Jonathan Robles? We got could have won all four. Taylor strikes out too much. That's from Craig Ferguson over on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's still trying to find it for sure. If you look at his day today, Chris Taylor, he goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, left 2 men on base. He was up during some big spots to give the Dodgers an opportunity to take the lead, but he just could not get it done. That's going to be something that fans are going to be keeping a close eye on all season long. You guys know I was calling him Chris Kaler, swing and miss Chris. Hopefully he turns that around. But yeah, this Dodgers offense as a whole, they had their opportunities, not as many as they did on Friday, but they did have opportunities and they just weren't able to capitalize. I mean, we saw so many 1, 2, 3 innings for the Dodgers where they went down in order. I mean, you saw the bottom of the first inning, Betts flied to center, Freddie grounded out, and then Will Smith on a 1-0 count, he goes deep, hits his first bomb of the season, 102.5 miles per hour off the bat, and yeah, great piece of hitting, and he really hasn't been seeing a lot of strikes. They've been pitching him away, out of the zone. He gets one on the inner half, a changeup. He just turned on it, and he hit it out and gave the Dodgers an early 1-0 lead, and then after that, J.D. Martinez, he grounds out. And that's the only run the Dodgers put across today was the Will Smith home run in the first inning. After that, not much doing for this Dodgers offense. Bottom of the second, they go down in order. Peralta grounded out. Thompson flied out to right. James Outman, he was able to draw that walk. But after that, not doing very much. Bottom of the fourth, they go down in order, a 1-2-3 inning on 8 pitches. Peralta grounded to second. Trey's grounded to the pitcher. And then Outman grounded to second on a very nice play by Marte. Now, bottom of the 5th inning, they definitely had an opportunity. So Chris Taylor, he takes strike 3 that caught the inside corner for the first out, and then Miguel Rojas flied out to center for the second out. Then Mookie, a 2-out infield single. Freddie Freeman, he singled to center to give the Dodgers back-to-back 2-out singles. And then on the 2-1 count, Will Smith at the plate, he grounded into a fielder's choice. Not a great at-bat there by Will Smith. 2-1 count, may want to work that count a little more, get a pitch to hit because they, like I said, have been pitching him outside of the zone. And you have Mookie and Freddie on board with 2 outs, but they weren't able to get a run. Then you jump to the top of, let's just jump back in the comments, guys. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this Dodgers offense so far? I mean, very boomer bust. For game 1, you saw them score a decent amount of runs. They put up runs. Game 2, same score as this game. It's 2-1. Yesterday, they win by a large margin, 10-1. But one of my big takeaways today, my first big takeaway that I'll give you for this first 4 games is the Dodgers, they're very reliant on the home run ball. We've seen that in years past. The Dodgers being very boomer bust, very all or nothing when it comes to scoring runs. Lots of slug, not a lot of passing the baton as we've seen in recent years. Well, the Dodgers, 11 of their last 12 runs have come via the long ball. And yes, of course, you have a 3 home run game from Trayce Thompson, uno dos Trayce Thompson yesterday. Yes, that it plays a big role in that, but still, the Dodgers not scoring very many runs the old-fashioned way, getting runners on, getting them across, getting those big 3-run crooked number innings with extra base hits. You just haven't seen this offense explode consistently up and down that lineup. And today, I think, is evidence that it can't be too top-heavy. And J.D. Martinez had a nice game yesterday. You saw he got his first home run, and he's starting to look better at the plate. Today, J.D. Martinez, who they need a lot from this season, a guy who's filling in for Justin Turner, he goes 0 for 4, had 2 strikeouts. He had multiple opportunities to get runs, to push runs across today. He had a couple RBI opportunities, left 3 Dodgers runners on base. So he's a guy that they need to see produce. J.D. Martinez is going to be a big factor this season because if he has a year where he's an all-star, where he returns to form, and he looks like one of the best hitters in the game, which he has been for the last 8 to 10 seasons, this offense is going to look different. It's going to change the complexion of this offense and take them to a whole nother level, but he just wasn't getting it done today. Trayce Thompson, he goes 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. He had 2 men left on base, so he wasn't able to come through as well. But yeah, this offense, just what are your takeaways? Do you think that they need to add someone? Who do you think needs to step up? I mean, Max Muncy has gotten off to a really slow start. Chris Taylor, a slow start. But here we go. This needs work, D-Mac. I'm glad you're here, DKM. Yeah, we're here to get this one together. Oh, our first fire, Dave Roberts of the show. That's from Brian. Oh, no.
Fire take.
Get rid of Rojas. That's from Adam818. Yeah, offensively, he definitely hasn't looked good so far. And I know a lot of Dodger fans have been very optimistic about him. And by the way, I just want to point out, though, defensively, he's been outstanding. He's been superb. You saw the double plays today, 2 double plays, and he just makes it look easy out there. The way he can field his position, the range he has, a very rangy defender, strong arm, great instincts. He has the great, as I was talking to Jose Mota a few days ago, and he said that he cheats better than any infielder in the league, and he didn't mean that in a bad way. It means that he reads the ball off the bat and is always getting in position, leaning that way, getting a good first step towards where the ball's going to be, and you're seeing that in action. Unfortunately, you're going from Corey Seager, one of the best offensive shortstops in the game, to Trey Turner, one of the best offensive shortstops in the game, to Miguel Rojas. And defensively, it's going to be important. There's no question about that. But if other guys aren't going to step up, yeah, I mean, you look at that position and you're going to hope that he produces more than he has been early on. Because he started the season, Miguel Rojas, he's 2 for 14, hitting 143, not really hitting the ball hard, has 3 strikeouts, but it's really not a strikeout issue, has 1 double. So, yeah, a lot of guys have gone off to slow starts. Max Muncy, 1 for 13. David Peralta, he's 3 for 10. So Peralta has had 3 hits. He's looked pretty solid at the plate. But, yeah, other than that, yeah, definitely need to see his offense. You be a little more consistent, put together more quality at-bats. But let's jump back into the comment section. Here we go. Graterol is a slightly better version of Pedro Baez. It's a fire take. Shows out like the Pedro Baez reference. By the way, Pedro Baez, man, with the new rules, the pitch clock, I just want to see him pitch with the pitch clock. He would basically give up 5 runs without even throwing 1 pitch with all the violations. Carnivorous lunar activity. Love the lineup with Thompson and Outman both starting, but why pinch hit for Outman with Barnes? That's from Carnivorous lunar activity. Yeah, that's something that bugged me. I'm glad you brought that point up because late in the game, we know James Outman, he's the guy who got the Dodgers' first home run of the year. He got the Dodgers' first stolen base of the year that we saw today because Freddie Freeman was overturned yesterday. But yeah, I definitely wanted to see him in there, and I don't care who he is facing. It could be a righty, it could be a lefty, but I think if you're the Dodgers in that situation, look, he's a guy that you want to see him. It doesn't matter who it is. And you got Scott McGuff in the game, and he, of course, he's a righty. And, yeah, I think that you got to trust James Outman. You really have to trust James Outman. I mean, we saw last year there were certain spots where you put Austin Barnes late in the game. And, yes, he's going to give you a good at-bat, but might as well use the first part of the season to give a heavy dose of opportunities to guys like James Outman, to guys like Miguel Vargas and Trayce Thompson, guys who you're really trying to see, are they going to be contributors for the entire season? Do they have what it takes to stick at the big league level? I think the answer to that question is yes, but they need opportunity. So, yeah, we got Barnes can't hit his weight from Craig Osterberg. Deborah Young, Graterol needs better control. Yeah, today he really, really struggled with his command, and that was apparent early on, and that's why I was concerned right away for Brusdar Graterol because he's a guy that relies on his command, and for the most part, he is an efficient pitcher that really pounds the zone, but today just wasn't his day. He did not look comfortable out there. We'll get back to that inning too. So yeah, we'll just get back to the top of the 9th inning. So yeah, you got that leadoff double by Ketel Marte. Like I said, that was not the worst pitch. Go back and look at that pitch. It was not terrible, but after that, and then of course, what happens is and of course we got the big throw out there by Mookie Betts. So that play really looked like it had saved the game. It was only temporary, unfortunately, but in that situation, Mookie Betts. I mean, of course, the Mookie Betts or Marte doubled to left, and right away, I mean, he's missing. You got a 2-0 pitch, and he doubles on that sinker, 98 miles per hour. And he's able to hit it for a double. And then Gurriel Jr., he singled to right. And on that play, Marte is gunned down at the plate. And the first thing that came to mind was, one, when will they learn? Do not run on Mookie Betts. He has an absolute laser, a tremendous throw by Marcus Lynn. Betts right there. But what crossed my mind was, why would you send the runner with nobody out? I mean, first and third, they would have had first and third, runners on the corners with nobody out, and a shaky Brusdar Graterol up to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, the meat of that Diamondbacks lineup. But still, credit to Mookie Betts, his second outfield assist of the week. A phenomenal throw. He makes it look easy. I don't care what position you put him in, he's going to have success and excel at it. But yeah, it was a great play. They reviewed it, and Smith definitely did not block the advancement of the runner. They made the tag, and it looked like Marte didn't even really get his hand across the plate. But then next batter up, you got a second life. If you're Brewstar Graterol, you have to take advantage of the fact that Mookie Betts, he saved your ass. You're going to owe him a steak dinner, but he wasn't able to. Brewstar Graterol falls behind to Gurriel 3-0. And then on the seventh pitch of the at-bat, he singles to center on a sinker. If you look at that sinker, it's right in the heart of the plate. It's right down Broadway. And, yeah, unfortunately, that just, it was right in the middle of the plate. And, yeah, it just was not a good pitch right there. Single to Gurriel. And then next batter, Walker, he singles to center. And that's on a 3-2 pitch, seventh pitch of the at-bat, a sinker that caught way too much of the plate. And then Carroll grounds. And then he falls behind Carroll 3-0. And then on the fifth pitch, the cutter, he grounds that fielder's choice, and then Gurriel goes to third. They get Walker at second, and then next batter up, McCarthy, he reaches on that bunt single, and it was really just a drag bunt, and he looks like he had a play at it. He looks like he had an opportunity to field it and kind of flip it to Freddie Freeman, but he just was not able to make the play. The Diamondbacks, they score. That makes it 2-1, gives them the lead, and that would be the final score. So, yeah, just not a great inning there from Brewstar Graterol. He ends up throwing 21 pitches, just 11 for strikes. So, yeah, definitely not a great day for Brewstar Graterol or this Dodgers offense. So, yeah, going to jump back into your takes. Who do you have as your player of the game? I mean, we might as well have a player of the game, but actually, which player do you think this loss most falls on? Which player do you think this loss most falls on? Is it Brewstar Graterol? We haven't mentioned some of the other offensive opportunities that they had in this one. But let me know down below in the comment section. I mean, jumping to the bottom of, really just not very many opportunities for the Dodgers offense all game long. After that big home run there by Will Smith early in the game, they just really weren't doing very much. And these lazy Sunday afternoon games, yeah, sometimes you just see that. It's unfortunate. But the definite silver lining in this one is Thor. He was hammering that strike zone with strikes all day long, and he had himself a day. And we're going to jump into your comments, and then we're going to talk about Noah Syndergaard's outing because there's definitely a lot to like. That is the biggest positive today, and it's unfortunate, too. The Dodgers really could have gone off to a great start this season had the offense had just shown up. You got a fantastic performance by Dustin May on Friday. He shoved. Then today, Noah Syndergaard, he twirled the gem, but the Dodgers lose both those games despite quality starts from Syndergaard and Gingergaard. But here we go. CT3 equal 2022 Cody Bellinger. We got James Outman sucks. James Bostrom, are you serious? James Outman's got off to a really nice start. I've been impressed by his pitch recognition, the way he's been able to take his walks. He got his first stolen base today. I wouldn't pin this on James Outman at all. Rojas, CT3 needs to go. That's from DKM. Aaron Calderon, already 0-2 in one-run games. Already been held to 1 run in 2 games by the D-bags, no less. Not the way to start out the year. Yeah, definitely it's a trend that you don't want to see continue because we know last year this team definitely struggled in one-run games. They struggled in extra innings games, and it's a bad habit, and you want this team to be able to put the ball in play and generate more offense more consistently. And like I said, 11 of the Dodgers' last 12 runs have came via the home run ball, and you don't want to see that trend continue. You want to see a more scrappy, gritty Dodgers offense that can put the bat on the ball and pass the baton. But Jenny Vega, D-Mac, what up, Jenny Vega? Adam 818, win 111 games and win a real championship. Ralph Santos, offense is great. Everyone just forgot about yesterday. Well, yesterday was the Trace Thompson show, right? Trace 3 Bombson show, okay? I mean, Trace Thompson, uno, dos, Trace Thompson. The Thompsons love threes. There you go. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an offensive outpouring. But look, the positives are that this rotation looks like it's for real 1 through 4. Just about finding that fifth guy. Can it be a Ryan Pepiot? Will Tony Gonsolin come back and pick up where he left off last season earlier in the year and continue to build off that? Will Ryan Pepiot come back and have success? Gavin Stoney struggled in his first start at AAA. Will he find it and be the guy we all think he's capable of being when he gets his opportunity this year? How will Michael Grove look tomorrow, who was touching 98 during spring training and has improved his stuff throughout the years? But hitters strike out with runners in scoring position instead of putting the ball in play. That's from Neil Casimoto. Yeah, I mean, definitely you're seeing guys start with the home run ball. Bring Yanni Hernandez. Yanni Hernandez had a nice start down in AAA, but I think it's a little too premature for that. Where is Yanni? That's from DKM. Put Bronny at short. That's from Boomer Assassin. Comedy of the night status there. Taylor wasn't good last season. Tina Guzman, yeah, he struggled very mightily. I mean, he's a guy who led the league in strikeout percentage with a minimum of 400 plate appearances, over 35%. He's a guy that definitely was playing through injury, but wasn't himself in the box. Dodgers missed Chris Martin. Carl, that's definitely a good take for sure, but he's a guy who got a really nice deal in Boston, and I don't think the Dodgers really wanted to pay that for a reliever. That's just not their MO. It's not how Andrew Friedman likes to build his bullpen. They like to find guys off the street and turn them into elite relievers like they did with Evan Phillips, who they actually got off waivers from Tampa Bay, but still, nonetheless, they've turned him into a premier relief pitcher. Dodgers need Yasiel Puig. Adam 818. Do you guys agree with his take? The Dodgers need Puig, the notorious Puig, as I used to call him. Rojas is the worst shortstop in baseball. It's from Bruce Davis. Defensively, there's no question that he's one of the best shortstops in baseball. Every single defensive metric you look at, he's ranked in the top 5. Offensively, though, Bruce, I bring my facts to the fight, and the reality is that last year, of the qualified shortstops, you are correct. Miguel Rojas was he was the worst offensive shortstop in baseball at a 73 WRC plus. Was also dealing with injuries. So I'm hoping that he at the very least can give you 10% below league average and give you great defense, and the other guys step up. So really, this offense shouldn't rely on Miguel Rojas. This shouldn't be pinned on him. You need the Max Muncies, the JD Martinez's to be consistent. You need more from Chris Taylor. You need Trace Thompson to do more of what he did yesterday and less of today. I know, what have you done for me lately? But yeah, I wouldn't pin this all him because, look, with the restricted shift, Miguel Rojas is still providing a lot of value just with his glove. LMAO, that would be a mess with Yasiel Puig. What the hell was Roberts doing? Where is Yency Almonte? There we go. There's a friend of the show. Yeah, I mean, of course, you want to see Yency Almonte in those situations, but the way that this bullpen lined up today, it was going to be Bruce Dart, Graterol. And you didn't even see anyone warming up there late in the game. It's just unfortunate that he did not have it, and then the offense didn't have it as well. And that's really what the game came down to. And, so we're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about Noah Syndergaard's start because I think, yes, the offense, they sputtered today. They couldn't hit sand if they fell off a camel. We know that, save for the top 3 in the order that went 4 for 10. Rest of the guys up and down the slam, they combined to go 0 for 21. The Dodgers offense just did not get the job done. And look, it's as simple as clutch hitting, and we know that. We know that that's what it came down to in the NLDS last year when they combined to go 5 for 34, and they weren't able to get that big hit, and they went down in just 4 games. Today, they go 0 for 6. They stranded 8 men on base. On Friday, they go 0 for 7. They stranded 12 men on base. In the 2 wins in this series, Dodgers combined to go 8 for 17 with runners in scoring position. So you combine clutch hitting with solid pitching, solid to great pitching, you're going to win a lot of ball games. But today, offensively, they just did not have it at the plate. And yeah, give credit too that Diamondbacks. I mean, Zach Davies has really kind of had the Dodgers number. We know that, and Chafin came in. He pitched well towards the end, and yeah, Nelson, Castro. I was really impressed with Castro. Went an inning and 2/3, had those 2 punch outs. So yeah, he pitched very, very well. But of course, we got to talk about Noah Syndergaard because to me, you're going to lose games throughout the season, but the biggest takeaway today, other than the ones that we've mentioned, Dodgers too reliant on the home run ball. The Dodgers offense towards the bottom of the lineup is not producing as much. Those are 2 big key takeaways. But also, Noah Syndergaard in this starting rotation, they look like they're top 5 potential. And Noah Syndergaard, I was very, very impressed with his outing. I want you guys to give me a grade. So now we're throwing out grades. First, give me your grade, though, for Noah Syndergaard. I will start things off. I'm going to give him an A for his Dodgers debut, and I'm going to get some comments here. We're going to break it all down because Noah Syndergaard, he was fantastic. I mean, you saw the command was there, did not have 1 3-ball count all day. He was pounding the zone. Thor was just hammering the strike zone with strikes all game long. If you look at his numbers, Noah Syndergaard went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts, threw 78 78 pitches and 56 for strikes. And yeah, he was very, very solid. A strong first start for Noah Syndergaard. But here we go. This is another Pollock Kimbrel reference, DKM. Friedman should have signed as top all-star closer and shortstop. That's from Bruce Davis. Look, there weren't very many that made too much sense for the Dodgers. I mean, Dansby Swanson, is he really going to move the needle? Because for the most part, his career, he had some nice pop last season. There's no doubt about it. Had his best offensive season, but he struggled down the stretch. And for the majority of his career, he has been an inconsistent bat. Carlos Correa had those injury issues. He was basically like a game of doctor at one point. I mean, this guy was there's too much unknown for the kind of money that he was after, especially when you consider that the Twins were willing to spend that. Xander Bogaerts for 11 years, when you consider defensively, he's going to be changing positions probably in the next 2-3 seasons. Yeah, wasn't going to happen. Trey Turner, he wanted to be on the East Coast. He was going to go back to the Phillies, and he was going to go back to the East Coast and sign with the Phillies. That was one of the most telegraphed signings this offseason. I told you guys last summer that I thought Trey Turner would end up with the Phillies, and he did. So there weren't very many impact shortstops that made a lot of sense for the Dodgers. We also know, too, the Dodgers don't like to spend big money on closers. You're early going to see them get all-star relievers through trade on reclamation projects, the Blake Trinans of the world, Craig Kimbrel for Pollock. I mean, they're not going to go out there and sign a guy like a Liam Hendricks or a Edwin Diaz or something like that, because bullpen pieces tend to be very volatile from year to year. But Vesia choked, and so did Graterol. Yeah, I would say so far those two relievers are the ones that really did not have strong starts to their season. But still a very long way to go. We're just 4 games into the year, and those guys have proven in the past that they can be really, really good for long stretches, and they're going to need Vesia to be their top high-leverage lefty out of that pen. But the offense, so who is most to blame for today? We got Boomer Assassin says all the bats. James React says the offense. Boomer Assassin says not that gritty. We got Dodgers _ Chloe says will be great, but Graterol. Michael Carrillo says this loss is on Dave Roberts. Trace Hayward season 2022 says great Graterol and Trace. Okay, that's objective. Well, you're blaming it on your boy. Careless Whisper, JD out, JT is much better than JD. Yeah, so far, I think JD's still figuring things out. He's had some success early. You saw some extra base hits. You saw a home run. So, yeah, today just wasn't his day. He was chasing at pitches outside of the zone. I mean, they're really attacking him upstairs, and that's really going to be the key. Can he get to elevated fastballs and pitches up in the zone? And that's going to really determine whether or not he gets back to the guy he was earlier in his career when he was widely considered one of the best hitters in the game. Starting pitching looks very good. Yeah, what are some of your big takes early on this year? Thor, player of the game. They wasted his good outing. Yeah, today was Sunday, but it was more like Thor's day, the way he went out there and he threw the pill. And Noah Syndergaard, the movement was there. The command was there. I mean, if you look at his efficiency, that's what really stood out the most. I mean, 78 pitches for Noah Syndergaard in 6 innings of work, and that is fantastic. You're talking about 13 pitches per inning. The big league average is 17. So that's how you see guys go deep into games. That's why he got an opportunity to go out there in the 7th inning. But towards the end, their last few innings, he was missing his spots a little bit. He looked just a little bit fatigued. The command wasn't as pristine later in the start as it was earlier, so that's why he was pulled. Careless Whisper, please fire Roberts. We got Dumbo Dave Roberts, 2-0 in games with 5 runs or more, and 0-2 in games decided by 2 runs or less. That's a fair take. I mean, look, winning and losing in Major League Baseball is razor thin. It's really easy to lose. It's really hard to win. And when it's on the margins like that, a move here or a move there can definitely change the outcome of games. But I think in this one, just the offense just wasn't doing very much against his Diamondbacks team that you would expect more production from. So this will not be the year unless Freeman can pull a magic trick, because he's been screwing up moves. That's from DKM. Why we got Deborah Young. Yes, I would blame the loss on Bazooka if I had to pick just one person. LMAO at my comment. That's from Adam818. What was it? What was your comment? Adam818. Why won't Friedman fire Dave? Dodgers _ Chloe. Only problem is that yesterday was Freddie's bobblehead night. Yeah, it's always big. We got fire take. Offense stinks. The Mayflower and Noah's Ark in the same weekend. Oh, there's a fire take. It's a comment tonight. That's from Joseph Luca over on YouTube, who says offense sinks the Mayflower and Noah's Ark in the same weekend. There you go. That's a early front runner for comment of the night. So yeah, Noah Syndergaard, talk about his first inning. He comes out hot, struck out the first 2 batters on 6 pitches, gave up the hit to Gurriel, but 2 punch-outs, did a great job avoiding the heart of the plate. They retired the D-backs in order in the second on 9 pitches, and then 2 quick fly ball outs, and then he recorded his 3rd punch-out, getting McCarthy swinging with the filthy changeup away. So he was fantastic there first 2 innings. Then he started the 3rd inning with back-to-back strikeouts. He gets Perdomo swinging on a fastball for the first out, and then he gets Herrera looking at a changeup down for the 2nd out, and then he gets Rojas to line to center for the 3rd out. So that hard slider against lefties, it was so effective out there, and that's really been one of the big differences for him is he's throwing that slider harder. You're seeing the depth. You're seeing it has that bite. And I was telling you about Bruised Dark Graterol and the lack of extension that he has. Well, Noah Syndergaard is on the opposite side of the spectrum. He has a long extension to the plate, so if he throws a 94, 95 mile per hour heater, it is going to play up. It's going to, and spin rate's not very high, but still, I mean, as long as he's commanding it like he is, he's going to have success and be effective. And yeah, I mean, one of my disappointments I said was fans are going to be disappointed if they're expecting the dominant Noah Syndergaard. When I mean dominant, I mean the old Thor that we saw dominate hitters with 98, 99, 100 mile per hour fastballs up in the zone. You're probably not going to see that guy at this stage of his career, but with his command the way it is, you're still going to see a guy that's going to go out there and be able to produce and be effective and get big starts and have a nice impact on this team. If you look at his max velocity today, he topped out at 94.3 miles per hour. That was down 0.9 miles per hour from last year. If you look at the slider, though, he's throwing that slider a lot faster. Today it averaged 90.9 miles per hour. That was up 5 miles per hour. So you got the changeup, got the four-seam fastball that he threw 18% of the time today. That topped out at 93.7. So the point of all this is to say that he wants to get back to 99. He said that everything the Dodgers touches turns to gold, but that really hasn't been the case so far. The velocity has not returned, but still he's been effective, and that's mainly because he's been a guy that's been pounding the zone with strikes. Like I said, Thor is hammering that zone with strikes, and we saw that today. So jump back into the comment section. Question for you guys. Do you think that Noah Syndergaard will make the All-Star team? Let me know down below, and we'll keep breaking down his outing. Should have never let Justin Turner go. That's from Doom_Sal. Who knows? I mean, he wanted a multi-year deal. The Dodgers, they really didn't want to commit long-term, and he got a nice deal with the Boston Red Sox, and that's why I predicted that he wouldn't be back, because I knew that there were teams out there that needed help, especially against left-handed pitching, and we know that Justin Turner can provide that, and they said, hey, look, it just didn't make sense for us at this time. And they also knew that JD Martinez was out there and willing to sign a 1-year, $10 million deal. So we'll see. It's still early. I think that JD Martinez has the potential to provide more upside. I mean, last season, JD Martinez 4th in the league with 43 doubles. He's a guy that still, when he's on, can be one of the best run producers in the game, and he's hitting cleanup in a really stacked lineup for the most part. So still give him his chance. It's still too early to make that determination, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, look, Justin Turner with a chip on his shoulder, I wouldn't bet against him. Okay, that's how he became who he is. I mean, he's a guy who was released by the Mets and just came out of nowhere with the Dodgers to become a multi-time All-Star. So yeah, we got Dodgers need iron. Their offense was anemic. That's from Mike Saldana. There's a fire take. There's Tim Anderson, Michael Bush. Okay, you want to see Tim Anderson? We'll see. Just root for the White Sox to lose. Joey Gallo, 3 for 4 with 2 dingers. That's from Mike Saldana over on YouTube. Yeah, he's a guy that was supposed to benefit with the restricted shift, and you saw how they kind of made an adjustment on him. But when he gets his bat on the ball and he puts a good swing on it, and I mean, he has as much power as anyone in the league. Light tower power from Joey, you're my friend Gallo. So here are your grades for Noah Syndergaard. If you have not submitted your letter grade, please do it. We got Michael Carrillo, you give him a B. Daniel Martinez, an A. James Reacts, a B+. Boomer Assassin, a B with an asterisk. Paul Gutierrez would rather have Gallo than Hayward. Hayward is washed from Paul Gutierrez. Yeah, look, I mean, Jason Hayward, he hasn't been an average bat for a long time. So the idea of him coming in here at his age and suddenly becoming this magical batter, a guy that was going to be a big run producer, I think was a pipe dream, and I just don't expect that from him. I think he's a guy that is on this team because the Dodgers aggressively went after him when he became available. We know the connection with Freddie Freeman. We know defensively he can still get it done at an above average level. It's just he has a very long swing. His swing is longer than the receipts at CVS or the Lord of the Rings trilogy or the line of the DMV. I mean, he does have a long swing, and if he's not continuously making adjustments and tightening up that swing, he's not going to be having very much success. So we want to see him try to take out trying to have a little more efficient and compact swing. And if he does that, I think he's going to give himself a better chance to go out there and have hits and be able to get more starts and more opportunities. But an A for Thor from Dodgers_Chloe. Syndergaard equals A from Trace Hayward's season. Roy Estrada, another wasted great pitching performance. Yeah, it's what we talked about earlier, is that what did we say earlier? What was the tweet of the night? It was a good one. But the Mayflower and Noah's arc. Yeah, and like I've said on the show about Noah's career arc, is that he's gone from high velocity to a little dip, but he's also improved his command, and we saw that today. Dansby over Rojas. Yeah, Dansby over Rojas, there's no question about that, but Dansby Swanson's a guy who I think for sure, there's no question about it, that he's a great fit for that Cubs team. But Dansby Swanson is a guy who, when you had Gavin Lux in the fold and you did trade for Miguel Rojas, I mean, Dansby Swanson kind of felt like, I don't know if that made a lot of sense, especially if you want to bring up Miguel Vargas and have him at second base, and that's something they absolutely want to do, whereas where would you put Gavin Lux, right, in that situation? So they thought they had Gavin Lux. So, yeah, if you look at Dansby Swanson, the contract that he signed, I just didn't see the Dodgers really doing that. I predicted he would go to the Cubs, and he ended up with the Cubs, and he signed a 7-year, $177 million deal. The Dodgers were never going to sign Dansby Swanson to that contract, especially with the big free agent by the name of Shohei Ohtani available next offseason. You want to definitely look ahead and put yourself in a position on a financial level, on a fiscal level, to say, hey, we want to give everything we have to that and also give ourselves some flexibility. And then you have a Gavin Lux at the time who wasn't injured. So I don't think that was a big miss. I don't think the Dodgers really wanted that move. But Mike Saldana, hashtag blame Roberts. Roberts is to blame today. That's from Neil over on YouTube. We got Ryan Orion Montez, who wrote his senior thesis novel here. I'm just kidding. I'll read it anyway. Like someone mentioned, Bellinger isn't really missed right now because he's literally batting 0 right now. JT is a different story since he's having a good start so far. Some players get traded. Some players sign with other teams. Yeah, look, it was going to happen, okay? Like I said, the Dodgers did not want to give JT a multi-year deal. You guys forget, Justin Turner struggled mightily. He definitely was ice cold during that NLDS, and he had multiple opportunities to put the Dodgers in front, and had he got an extra hit or two, the Dodgers might have not lost to the Padres in the NLDS, and he was overpowered by high velocity, by Suarez, by Roberts, so yeah, I don't have a problem with the bullpen giving up a run as long as the offense can make that up. The Dodgers did not do that. Yeah, I don't think it's pretty tough to blame this on the bullpen when the offense scores just 1 run and the Dodgers allowed 2 runs. But yeah, back to Thor's start. You jump to him getting ahead of hitters today. Then the 4th inning, another quick and efficient inning, a 1-2-3 inning on 8 pitches. He gets Marte to fly out, gets Gurriel to pop to short, and then Walker grounded to second. So just 1 base runner through 4 innings, and he was 11-11 on first pitch strike. So he was flawless through that first 4 innings. Then the 5th inning, he falls behind 2-0 to Corbin Carroll, and then Carroll gets a base hit to center. Then he steals second, then he steals third. If you remember last season, Thor was one of the worst in the league at holding runners, and now with the new rules, only two disengagements where you can throw to first. You know that Carroll was sitting dead red and was going to take full advantage of that. Then a few batters later, on a 1-2 count to Perdomo, he doubles to right. Not a terrible pitch. It was a jam shot on a slider on the inside corner. And yeah, that gives the Diamondbacks their first run of the game, ties things up at 1. So yeah, his command wasn't as good there in the 5th or the 6th, but he came back out in the 6th, and he has another 1-2-3 inning against the top of the D-backs order. He gets Gurriel to go around for his 6th strikeout, couldn't hold up his swing. And then, yeah, it was a really nice pitch. A changeup away. Really, his changeup today was filthy. The way he was using that changeup, very impressive. So, yeah, and he comes out to start the seventh, and on a 2-2 pitch, the seventh pitch of the at-bat, Walker singled to center on a changeup at the bottom of the zone. So 0-3 ball counts for Noah Syndergaard. He had control. He had command. He was cruising, but I think that was a good time to take him out of the game. So I give Noah Syndergaard an A, and I also think one of the big takeaways is he certainly looks like he's going to build on this start and continue to get better. I think he should surrender to the velocity thing. I think the velocity thing is in the past. You're not going to see him get 4 more miles of velocity, 4 more miles per hour velocity during the course of this season. He just needs to be solid. He needs to focus on landing that sinker down away and avoiding the heart of the plate and just working the corners and the edges like he was doing today and keeping the ball down and sometimes mixing that four-seam fastball up to get some swing and miss, and he's going to be just fine. I think he needs to do more of a rebirth, a reinventing of himself, than trying to get back to what he was. Arizona beat us with bunts and steals. That's from Deborah Young. Yeah, I mean, they definitely 3 steals for the Diamondbacks today. You saw them lay down that bunt. And, yeah, you look at the way they played the game today. It was a tight one, and they definitely beat the Dodgers at the small ball. There's no doubt about it. But, yeah, if you look at Noah Syndergaard's strikeouts today, 4 of them came via the changeup. You got the Rojas swinging in the first. You got McCarthy chasing away in the second. You got Herrera looking in the third, and Gurriel swinging in the sixth. And then he also got one via the slider down in against Marte in the first, and then Perdomo swinging at that four-seam fastball in the third. So definitely a strong start from Syndergaard. Dodgers, though, just not enough offensively. What more can you say? And, yeah, it really came down to the top of the 9th inning, and you mentioned the bunt right there. McCarthy reached on that bunt single, that drag bunt towards the first base line, and yeah, Brusdar Graterol had an opportunity to make a play. It would have gotten the Dodgers out of the inning. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the play, and the Diamondbacks, they score. But yeah, it's a pesky, gritty little Diamondbacks team. I said in the preview show that I wouldn't be surprised if they were the 3rd best team in the NL West. I actually picked them to finish as the 3rd best team in the NL West this year because they do have some young talent. They have their starting rotation isn't terrible, so I definitely think this Diamondbacks team is trending in the right direction. I think they're a few years away from truly contending, but they definitely have some exciting pieces down in AZ. But let's jump back into the comment section, guys, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon here. We've already gone 45 minutes. Like I said, we're going to be doing more shows all year long. The Dodgers Nation postgame show. Thanks to our sponsor, Jim Beam and Perdomo, and thanks to our sponsor Jim Beam and Ornitos. And yeah, we got having Gavin Lux penciled in as your starting shortstop isn't a World Series team. That's from Justin Lamas. Look, I think the shortstop position is going to change for the next few seasons. I think you're going to see more defensive-minded shortstops, and you're going to look to get the offense at other places. Look, we're just a few years removed from the pitcher batting, so you have a designated hitter. So really, sacrificing one position to defense shouldn't determine the outcome of your offense as far as production goes. You shouldn't have to have the shortstop be your offensive run producer. If you have a Carlos Correa or a Trey Turner or a Xander Bogaerts or a Dansby Swanson or a Willie Adames, guys that can produce, a Tim Anderson, guys that can contribute offensively, that's great, but it doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all. I mean, the Astros, Pena, I mean, he was their World Series MVP, but during the course of the season, it's not like he was lighting the world on fire or anything like that. Ohtani will save the Dodgers. That's from Adam818. LOL batting 0. Do you really want to spend $500 million on one player? I would say for the right player like Ohtani, a guy that most of this league, maybe Mike Trout, some of these guys, Clayton Kershaw, they'll be talked about forever. But there's no doubt Ohtani will be talked about 100, 200 years from now. And if he wins a World Series with the Dodgers, it'll go down as one of the most legendary World Series titles that the sport has ever seen. Not all titles are created equally. Not all players are created equally. So, yeah, as far as the Dodgers really etching themselves into the lore of Shohei Ohtani and what it means for the history of baseball, I think absolutely makes a lot of sense. Now, the only question is how long can he sustain what he's doing, being an elite starting pitcher and an elite hitter? Yeah, that's the other big question. But I know the Dodgers are interested in doing it, so I trust Andrew Friedman, and we know that Andrew Friedman wants someone told me behind the scenes that Friedman wants Ohtani badly, so we'll see. Justin Lambas, forget a new manager. They need a new aggressive GM like Preller or Epler. Yeah, I mean, We'll see how aggressive Friedman is this year. My prediction is he is more aggressive. I don't think he is going to sit on his hands like he did at the deadline last year. And I warned all you guys at the deadline that despite their record, they need to make some moves. And what happened? They ended up losing in the NLDS. I didn't trust that roster from a postseason perspective. And we'll see. Does Ohtani play shortstop? No, unfortunately he doesn't. But a couple more comments here, and we'll get out of here. Go Lake Show, $600 million for Ohtani from Jenny Vegas. Vega, Mike Saldana, Lakers looking scary playing the Rockets. Nice, I'll watch that right after this game. Go Lakers, we need offense. All right, guys, I'll let you guys watch the Laker game, and we'll be back in a few nights to break it all down. But thanks for rocking with us. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that like button, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Also, if you haven't followed me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at DMAC_LA. Thanks for all your comments. Dodgers lose. They're 2-2 on the year. They lose to the D-backs once again. Lakers already won. Oh, that was at 4. Am I tripping? Our starting pitcher so far, D-Mac, thank you, Beth. Thanks, Jenny Vega. Thanks to all you guys for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. As always, like I said, my name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.